There seems to be a serious problem when it comes to transition. These are long-time leaders who have been there for a long time. When it comes to time, they don't plan for their exit. So we are struggling with identifying people who can lead these revolutions. For example, there are leaders who have done it successfully. You can talk about Arap Moi. Arap Moi was there for more than 2 decades. Finally figured out how to negotiate his exit. He did it. Joseph Kabila in Congo managed to figure out how to exit without, he would be in exile by now, but he figured out how to play the rules of the game and managed to negotiate his exit. Why can these other leaders maybe learn from those examples? For example, we're having a crisis in Sudan.
As a matter of fact, you're right in talking about some of those specific leaders who were able to manage their exit. But these were not the first people that did so in Africa. In fact, when you go back to the for example, 80s, you have Tanzanian founding president Julius Kambarage Nyerere essentially stepping down and choosing Ali Hassan Mwinyi to replace him. Ali Hassan Mwinyi sticking to the constitution of Tanzania, and after serving 10 years, replaced by Benjamin Mkapa. Benjamin Mkapa sticking to the constitution and the laws of Tanzania, and after 10 years, Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. And after Mrisho Kikwete, you have John Pombe Magufuli. That's why people talk about stability, peace, and what have you in Tanzania. And then you go to West Africa. You had the Senegalese founding president, Leopold Sédar Senghor. He also managed his exit by choosing Abdou Diouf, someone that has the distinction of having been the tallest president in the world. The tallest president actually did serve 1 term because he tried to do another term and he was very badly defeated. But the good thing and the beautiful thing about the tallest president in the world, Abdou Diouf, he actually conceded defeat with grace. And then the man that beat him, Abdoulaye Wade, he also served. He tried to shift the constitutional political goalpost and it didn't quite work. He was defeated by Macky Sall. Also, like his predecessor, considered defeat with grace, went home. And so really you have a sort of democracy being consolidated in Senegal, in Tanzania. And then you have a place like Ghana, which was, a country that experienced so many types of military coups. But it wasn't until you get Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, retired but certainly not tired, that after 2 coups, he eventually laid ground really that in a sense has actually made him be considered to be a transformational African leader, because the democracy is maturing in Ghana. In fact, when I think about democracy maturing in Ghana, and in fact it is maturing, I think that Ghanaians should not be selfish democratically. Perhaps, in fact, what they should do, just like their first founding president and prime minister, the Osajefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, on March 6, 1957, when he regained political independence from the Gold Coast to Ghana, he challenged the entire nation by saying that the independence of Ghana would be meaningless unless it was linked with the total liberation of Africa. And Paul, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did not simply talk the talk. He actually walked the talk by providing the necessary tools and support to those other African countries and his colleagues who were struggling and fighting for freedom. And you know, with 1994, South Africa becoming a multiracial democratic society under the leadership of the Madiba, the late Nelson Mandela, the dream for Kwame Nkrumah was fulfilled. And Ghana, in a sense, should now talk about how democracy is not good enough only for Ghana, but that perhaps, in fact, democracy is good for the entire continent. And therefore, Ghanaian authorities should figure out a way sincerely of somehow selling that ideal so that the entire Africa can buy into it.